the Trevor Jackson Podcast.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the new subscribers that recently subscribed to the channel. We had an influx of subscribers, like 250, 300 subscribers. Thank you all. I appreciate y'all valuing my perspective and my content because, you know, you could be anywhere in the world, in the great words of Jay-Z, but you're here with me. Now, you know, I hope y'all enjoyed the last few shows that I had with my partner, Guy Jackson, with Rob from Water Guide TV. Make sure that you subscribe to their channels, Water Guide TV. It's all one word. My boy Rob channel, he be on there with the great content, with the great perspective. My boy Guy Jackson, I just did an interview on his channel, and he talked to me about my music career. I really appreciate that because a lot of people look at me as a podcaster or as an old head or whatever, and they don't know like the amount of work I put in doing my thing with music. So I really appreciate that conversation. Go over there to his channel, and if you look in the community section on my channel, I will post a link to that episode on his show, and I hope y'all greatly appreciate it, man. But we got to get into this conversation, the art of perception. You know, y'all see the showrunner at the bottom, and it's just different to me to see the state that the black community is in, the state that hip hop culture is in, the state that America's in general, man. It's just very interesting. And before I get into the Jay-Z conversation, because I know everybody just seen the video on NBC of the young lady that accused Jay-Z of those charges. We touched on it last week. Pause. We touched on this conversation last week, but I want to dive deeper into it. I want to pull up some laws and some celebrities talking about their perspective of it, and I just want to get into it. But before I get into that, I want to play this clip from Money Long, because it's, you know, people glorify things. People glorify individuals. People celebrate. Ain't nothing wrong with celebrating a person's achievements and success and stuff, but it gets to a point to where you like look at a person as a higher power, as a lord or as a god or stuff like that. And then when you meet your heroes, man, oh man.
Sometimes in my profession, or not even just in my profession, I think like it's a mistake to meet your heroes because you don't listen to their music the same way. Like I met a few of my heroes and I couldn't listen to their music anymore after because they just were just terrible people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because of how they dealt with you or dealt with?
Well, the music did not match the personality. So it was just like, I can't listen to this because I know that's not really how you move.
Keeping the names out of it. Mm-hmm. Could you explain?
Just like, you know, you sing about love and you're really mean as hell. You know?
Mm. What are your bylaws as a artist or a person that you kind of go by? You know what I'm saying?
I just try to stay human. I try to just stay real, stay grounded, be excellent, you know? And always be who I say I am or who I think I am.
I got to show her some love on that, real talk. You know, I've been talking about programming and perception a lot lately because if you watched the last episode on the channel where I was talking about reality TV and Black Ink, what Caesar had to say about the programming of reality TV and VH1 and the perception that they want you to have upon the culture, it's the same way in the music industry. And I ain't saying anything is wrong with it, because if people want to be followers, if people want to like just accept whatever is thrown at them and they're happy with it and content with it, then so be it. If you want to watch the commercials and be sold the things that America has to offer, if you want to listen to the radio and be programmed on what is acceptable in the music industry and what you should like, cool. But those people ain't who you think they are. It's all about corporate profits and corporate benefits. And people will do anything to obtain a dollar. They will even be an image that's not really who they are. They don't even listen to their own music. They just making music so they can make money. And you think that this is your hero. They make the best music ever. This is really them. Wow. Oh my God, I love it. This is so amazing. Wow. And it's all cap. You know, that's interesting, man. That's just interesting. And I just want to salute Money Long again, because being authentic is rare. It's really rare, like, to be real. And that's crazy. Like, a lot of people put their life on the line to create authentic and be real with themselves and make stuff that the people can feel. And a lot of people don't even care about it because it ain't popular. They only appreciate what's popular. And that's sad, dog. That's sad at the end of the day. But this is going to be a 2-part episode because I got a lot of takes I want to talk about today. I got a lot of things I want to talk about today. But first, I want to react to the lady's NBC interview that has the allegations that Jay-Z did something to her and that Diddy did something to her. So the first thing that she spoke about was the drive and her having autism. So you 13 years old and somebody who is dead now, so they can't answer for themselves. So that's a red flag already. They dead. We can't get their perspective. They dead. They drove you 5 hours, a 13-year-old from Rochester, New York to New York City to be at the MTV Awards and let you out and let you go. And then a limo driver speak to you and say, you what did he like? And you get in the car. And you by yourself in New York City is different. It's different as a child. And then your father pick you up. And he doesn't remember. He doesn't even remember picking you up. And he said, this is something that seems like that I would remember. That's another red flag. Another red flag is that she said she spoke to Benji Madden about their matching tattoos. And a representative for Benji Madden came out and said that he has no recollection that this ever even happened. I am not an advocate for nothing illegal. I'm not an advocate for Jay-Z. I don't know Jay-Z. I don't know Diddy. But I'm an advocate for truth and proof of truth. Because people will put allegations on you and have no proof of the allegations. And you end up doing a life sentence, end up having to spend a lot of money, end up losing a lot of money, end up having this perception of you your whole life that you're something that you wasn't. And I think it's so many different laws now. New York had passed a law to where for 2 years, 2023 to 2025, there's no statute of limitations on sexual crimes. Why within those 2 years? Why just 2 years pass a law that there's no statute of limitation on those crimes? That's an interesting thing. We're going to get into some laws and things too, because I got a clip from Judge Joe Brown I want to play though. But I'm going to read Hove's response, man, because he had a response to this. And Hove said, today's investigation report proves this attorney Busby filed a false complaint against me in the pursuit of money and fame. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer don't even realize it, but soon. Sean Carter. That's crazy that he called him a 1-800 lawyer. This nigga writing raps. Oh man, this nigga writing raps, man. It's like a beef statement. Like he putting bars on a pen and paper talking about this 1-800 lawyer, man. It's over with. We fight from victory, not for victory. This is already over. He's speaking it into existence. Affirmations. Good God almighty, Hov spitting bars. Salute. I didn't know Jay-Z lawyer was Alex Spiro, the same lawyer for Elon Musk. It's interesting because it seems like this lawyer don't lose. He's standing on business. He the lawyer for the mayor of New York also, and it looked like he might get a pardon from Trump. It seemed like he's switching sides now to get the business done in New York, regardless of whatever he's standing on the business. He done switched from letting the migrants and immigrants in to New York City because of some law that they're a sanctuary city or whatever, to now Trump won. Let's get them on up out of here. Y'all done did too much. Let's get these folks up out of here. So Mayor Adams is like tripping, but his lawyer is Spiro. Spiro he done represented Megan Thee Stallion, Meek Mill, Jay-Z, Elon Musk, a lot of people and he's never took a L. So he made a statement also, and we're going to read that too, though. Alex Spiro said, "It is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without proper vetting, but will make things worse by further peddling this false story in the press. We are asking the court to dismiss this frivolous case today, and will take it up the matter of additional discipline for Mr. Busby and all the lawyers that filed this complaint." Alex Spiro. Good God Almighty, additional discipline. So they want them discipline. You know, I think about things and these lawsuits, they be civil, they don't be criminal. And it's only a 2-year span. Not saying that Jay-Z is the holiest of holies. Not saying that he's a great whatever. Not saying that I'm taking his side. But women need to be held accountable if they lying. If you make a statement and you can't prove it, you need to be held accountable. And these lawyers that's putting out these public threats that we know you guilty, trying to fearfully get a bag out of somebody, because we see it in celebrity culture that this is happening to celebrities, but this can happen to a normal person also. This can happen to you at home. Somebody could say, he getting a little money now. You might not be getting no bag right now, but eventually in life you could be getting a big old bag. And this could happen to you with these civil lawsuits. But I think that people, lawyers, and people that's accusing people of these things, if they don't have proof of truth, then they need to be held accountable. And these schools that's teaching this financial beneficial thing that's called a civil lawsuit need to be held accountable also. Now, y'all know I done had Judge Joe Brown on my platform. I listen to him often. I talk to him often, even though he done changed his number up on me, man. And I can't get in touch with him to get him on the podcast. This year I've been wanting him on the podcast for the last 6 months. I can't get Judge on, man. He too busy. So I want to play something that he said about extortion that I think is educational. And I want y'all to leave me something in the comment section about this. Help me out. Help me further the discussion about this. And if you're listening to the audio platform, you can leave comments on Apple Podcasts and Spotify also. You know, you can leave cash apps also too to donate to the show or whatever. But I just want the people that's watching, because I seen we got an uptick from the algorithm and views and likes and people watching the shows longer and everything. The average duration of the show, people listening to like 15, 20 minutes of the show now instead of 5, 10 minutes. But leave me y'all thoughts on this statement of what Judge Joe Brown said about extortion.
What winds up happening is we were taught, don't take the case if you can't win it or you don't have a realistic chance of winning it in front of a jury. Nowadays, when you peep into a law school course, what they wind up telling the lawyers is, this case you'll never win at trial, but the embarrassment value is such that you're likely to be able to extort a settlement out of the defendant for the nuisance value of the thing. So now you are encouraging lawsuits that are not winnable lawsuits. It's the embarrassment. It's the extortive aspect of it. And this also goes along with the federal criminal law that Joe Biden, James Eastland, Byrd, former Grand Dragon of the Klan, there's a cabal they had. They introduced legislation that passed 40 years ago so the federal prosecutors can bring cases with no realistic proposition of getting a conviction, but using the pendency of the cases for embarrassment.
That's different, man. That's really different, because they're using that as a fear tactic to be able to extort money out of you, when they know before they even attempt to do it that they cannot win this with the jury or with the court of law. They're trying to finesse you and see if they can make you fearful. And they teaching it in schools. That's what Judge said. He said when he was in school, they didn't even take the case if they felt like they couldn't beat it in the court of law. Now they taking the cases thinking that perhaps this person is settled out because they got other things going on. They got so much going on. The way they try to play Jay-Z is that they left the person anonymous so he wouldn't know who it was. If he would have settled out with something this simplified and it was an anonymous person who he didn't even know, then other folks would have came at him, like how when Diddy settled out with Cassie in one day, less than 24 hours, other folks start coming out. And all those other folks, I really don't believe y'all on that Diddy case. I really don't believe nobody but Cassie. That's the only evidence that the public has. Real talk. What other evidence does the public has? People will say that Diddy is guilty for this, for that, for this and that. I believe he's guilty of everything. Cap, dog. You don't even know. He might have a lot of allegations, a lot of people on podcasts talking about stuff and saying that he done this and done that, but there's no proof of truth. That might be the name of this podcast. The proof of the truth. You gotta have the proof of the truth, dog, before you come attacking folks, man. You gotta have proof of the truth, man. So, I'm on a platform. I don't know Jay-Z from nothing. I just listen to his music. I like him as an artist. He seemed like a no-nonsense guy when I listen to his music and see his business achievements. He wouldn't have never made it to the status that he made it in if he was a nonsense accepting type of person. He seemed like a no-nonsense guy. So I can dig that. I like that about him, creativity and musically. But they say birds of a feather flock together. So he hung out with he got 2 albums with R. Kelly. I went back and listened to those albums too, Best of Both Worlds. Them was fire. R. Kelly is an undeniable talent, even though some of the things that he's done has been vicious, and it was proof of the truth. I've been talking about proof of the truth. It was proof of the truth with R. Kelly. So, to be honest with you, I like his music. I don't know him from a can of paint, man. But out of all of these people and celebrities that's been talking, most of them really don't know him. I got a couple of clips from people who do know him, and they made an interesting thing, interesting conversation, because I look at my friends and I look at the people who I've allowed to be in my presence, right? And if you've been knowing me for 15, 20 years and you can't speak up for my character and how you know me as a person, then you wasn't a friend. Now, when we look at Diddy, who spoke up for him and his character as a good person? Nobody. Nobody spoke up for his character, man. Like, you need people to be able to speak up for your character as a person. If nobody is speaking up for your character as a person, you a shit person. Real talk. But somebody that's in mainstream media, that works for Disney, he spoke up for Jay-Z character, and I was shocked because I wasn't expecting this at all.
Mr. Busby is not that. He is a lawyer. I am not going to sit here and dismiss or excoriate Mr. Busby or his client, who's anonymous at this particular moment in time, and the allegations that she has leveled against Jay-Z. Here's what I will say. I'm broaching this story right now because we're talking about a friend of mine who is Jay-Z, somebody that I've known now for 25 years. And I'm going to state for the record, not calling anybody any names, not challenging Mr. Busby or the accuser, whomever. I'm telling you, I've known this man for 25 years. And I'm saying, for me, Stephen A. Smith, there is no way in hell I believe this about him. The Jay-Z that I know is the Jay-Z that I've seen around teenagers, and he doesn't even want us playing the kind of music we kind of listen to in hip-hop. He made us turn it off. That dude who was in concert in 2004 performing alongside R. Kelly, who he grew to dislike a lot, particularly because of the allegations that were leveled against him, who found things like that despicable and abhorrent. Anybody that's been around Jay-Z and knows him has seen him come to the defense of the most helpless amongst us.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
That man could lose his $10-15 million a year job sticking up for somebody who has these type of allegations, if these allegations are true. But he did it on his own independent platform, so salute to that. Because having something, working for corporate and having your own thing independent is a benefit nowadays, that we have such easily access to create content. I think about the stance that Stephen A. Smith took. And when I think about that stance, I think like people don't believe in people nowadays if they ain't around them or in their presence 24 hours a day. We don't trust people. There's a lot of people that don't even believe in God and in Jesus, man. And for him to stick up for him based upon his character like that speaks volumes. But I was reading the comment section of that video or that clip that I played y'all. And people talk about how nobody came to Drake's defense when he had those allegations that Kendrick Lamar supposedly put on him about him being a foul. That's why I'm going to call it a foul, because I don't want to mess up the algorithm. And people like can stick up for who they want to stick up for, man. You know, I had an objective take when it came to Drake, but these allegations is crazy right now in the culture. And I think it's more to come, man. I think it's more to come. I don't want it to come, but it seems like all the nasty work that's being put out right now, it's just the beginning of it. Because they said that Diddy had those tapes, man. And by him having those tapes, we don't know who's on those tapes, man. LeBron James even talking about he taking a takeaway from the Lakers right now. And everybody assuming that one of them tapes about to come out. The feds done approached LeBron, said, we got you on a tape, dog. Woo. Hey, man. Let me play this clip from Dr. Umar Johnson, man, about black billionaires being targeted.
We got Sean Carter not being accused of criminal behavior, but behavior that could have him found civilly responsible for the abuse of this woman. The point that I'm getting at, Art, that's four. That's four black male billionaires in 6 years. If we just take 2018 to 2024, We have seen a black male billionaire publicly destroyed once every year and a half. A black male billionaire publicly destroyed every 18 months for the past 6 years. Now, even if you believe that these men are no good and they committed this crime, I don't have a problem with that. If they're guilty, they should pay the price. I'm not defending no one who abuses women or abuses children. I want to be clear about that. But if they are innocent, Art, and I do believe Bill Cosby was, I don't believe Puffy engaged in interstate sexual trafficking against people's will. I don't believe that. Sean Carter, I don't know, but I don't believe it. It still remains to be seen. But here's the point that I'm getting at, Art. If these men are innocent of even some of these charges, this clearly speaks to an agenda and a conspiracy to destroy black male billionaires in this country. We only have but so many of them.
You know, I understand that take, and I kind of agree with that take, because when I look at Vince McMahon and all of those allegations against him, I'm like, wow. When I look at a few of the other individuals that's in the Caucasian race, I'm like, wow. I'm not even going to speak on too many names because they get away with things. They get jobs back and everything, man. Careers back and everything. And I don't want to make this a racial thing because I'm not racist, but I am concerned with my race. It's just an interesting thing that they want to take the money away from these black folks. They want to incarcerate these people in the latter years in their life instead of people getting help. When I think about the jail situation in America and the prison industrial system, keyword, system. When I think about the prison industrial system, I think it's a system to benefit the politics and the politicians and the white power structure, the white supremacy, to keep the finances rotating. It's not a system that's going to benefit black people. It's not a system that's going to assist black people. It's a system to hinder and take away from people that actually need help. Tune in, man, to part 2 coming up later on today, man. The Art of Perception. Let's get to it, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Check out my new music, 5 p.m. in Turks and Caicos. Let's go. I can't let the time pass me by. I just want to be with you. I can't let the time pass me by. I just want to live my truth. I can't let the time live my truth, nigga. What it do? Came up at the bricks, now copping by the deuce. Homes and cars, I'm internally scarred. I externally barred. I've been going so hard. $1 million is minimum. The killers, I'm sending them. I prevailed from hell. Didn't need no Ritalin. My rivals apologize. They know I'm the middleman. The head honcho, get to it pronto.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.